Heroes of Lockdown! Carey. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next Heroes of Lockdown. And with us, we have a special guest representing the French community. So, Carey, if you'd like to introduce yourself, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. So I'm Carey, or as some friends say, just call me Eric. I'm nearly 40 years old. That hurts just to say that. And I'm part of the Armada organization in France. Not the main one. We are several with the same role, but I try to make things happen in my region, which is Rhône-Alpes. So it's around Lyon on a map.
So, for those not too familiar with French geography, and correct me if I'm right, this is more near the Italian Swiss border.
Yeah, exactly. This is the southeast of the country.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, cool. I don't think I've ever been, but by the way, you're younger than me. I'm nearly
Oh.
41 at this stage. Uh, so, Eric, how did you get into Star Wars? What got you started in the nerddom?
It was because of Spaceballs.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, the Spaceballs. My father brought me to the theater. We saw a film that was obviously a parody of Star Wars. I was like 9 or 10, and I didn't understand a single reference. What? Why is that funny? 'Cause why is that big guy dressed as a monkey, and why everyone is laughing in the theater? What is that? So after that, I get to see episode 4 on TV, and I was, oh yeah, that is good. But it's on TV, so the screen was so little. We on the in the 90s, so we haven't big screen at that time, and I get it in the film. I get the four, then the sixth, and the five. Yeah, TV programmers are kind of a jack for those kind of things. And one day something came in the house that was a recorder with VHS, yeah, video
Yep.
cassette. So I could watch them over and over. I think I broke the magnetic band you have
Yep.
in those cassettes. Yeah.
So we had a little van which would
Hmm?
bring around the VHS tapes. So there would be a guy, he'd have a van, and in the back would be a library of VHS tapes when I was younger. But I think I might have actually seen Spaceballs before I saw the original trilogy as well. What we need now is somebody to run a Super Star Destroyer, but have it modeled as a maid with a vacuum cleaner. That is the challenge to those people with 3D printers. A Dart helmet superstar destroyer with the super maid to suck the air out of Alderaan.
I
Um,
just wonder what would the characteristic of such a ship could be in the Armada game.
well, like it probably every time it takes a critical, it probably takes two criticals because you're puncturing the Hoover bag. But if it overlaps a ship completely that's smaller than it, you just remove the ship. I think
if
that's how that would work.
if you increase your speed by one, you cannot decrease it. We break for nobody.
What does Darth Helmet do though? What's his Star Wars Armada ability? And that jamming field version would be far superior.
I think getting coffee will grant them a bonus with the coffee machine and the Mr. Coffee and the Mr. Radar. Uh, yeah, I don't
Ah,
know, but there has to be keyword introduced for the chip with alors so in French the word used in the film is trou du cul, literally assaults. I don't know in the English version of the Spaceball what is the term used, what is the name of the family that every member of the ship is, everyone's assault or something. I don't know the
Darth
term exactly.
Schwartz? Is that it? Or I can't remember. I need to rewatch
Yeah,
Spaceballs.
we need to rewatch it.
I'll rewatch it and I'll come back to you at some point. What you call it? So, with your love of Star Wars, what drew you into Star Wars Armada? Did you get a gatewayed in by X-wing, or was Armada the first one you picked up, or how did you get involved?
Armada was the first one. X-Wing was already a thing when I discovered the whole hobby, the whole miniatures war games. I discovered it all very lately in 2015. We were in a convention in Toulouse, uh, Toulouse Game Show Spring Break, and there was a stand. There was a merchant of FFG,
Yep.
Fantasy Flight Games, with many sets for X-Wing. That was a really young game at that point, and that big box with some ships. I I was. I think I may have spent the whole Saturday roaming around the table, looking people playing, say, hmm, this is good. This is good. I talked with everybody. I chatted with the guy from FFG, from some other guests in the convention, and sadly, I came back with a box, and
Happily, happily.
but I was excited since then. I started to play alone in a round table with the MC80 and some other new ships, and met some new people who played that game, and that was the beginning of a big adventure. Really,
Awesome.
it all started because of a convention. Yeah.
Like that's the best way of discovering new games, is seeing people playing them. So how did you end up being involved in the Lyon community anyway?
Mainly just by playing. I live in a small city near Lyon, which name is Saint-Étienne. We were four players at that time. Four players, you don't see, you didn't get to make many things.
Yep.
Uh, in Lyon, just near us, about 40 kilometers, there were four or six players. So we made up, we team up, and we agreed to set some events, sometimes in Lyon, sometimes in Saint-Étienne. I'm friend with a guy who own a shop
Hmm?
with a large, how do you say,
Play
a large
area.
room, a large play area, yeah, something like 200 square meters. So we can make events for 40 people without in miniatures.
Wow.
Some Warhammer. Oh, sorry for my accent. I
You're
eat it.
grand. You're grand. We all know what you mean. The Games Workshop crack.
Yeah, the Games Workshop thing with 40 or 50 players in the same room. That was a big room and very beautiful. So people were happy to come to Saint Etienne to play. And well, I was the host, so I was in charge of the organization, of the loot, and of the meat, of the yeah, of the curry and many other things that makes those tournaments and those meetings some really nice moments, some really happy meeting where we get very close friend after all those years. So step by step, I think I ended up being the main regional tournament organizer. There is some other in Paris, in Toulouse, in the Grand North near Abbeville, and in the Grand East near Strasbourg. Even some in the Atlantic, near the Atlantic. So
Hmm?
there's many people organizing things, and we were trying to meet them all and to make something bigger.
Yep. And I suppose the pandemic has put a bit of a spoke in that wheel.
Yeah, yeah. We were supposed to have several tournaments in late March. They didn't had they didn't occur, but we managed to keep a group at community using Discord,
Yep.
using our forum, playing on Vassal, then on TTS on Steam. That's not the same thing, but we were able to play during those hard times, and sometimes I think we played more often in the pandemic than before the pandemic.
Yep.
Yeah, because we make a game in TTS. It's over. Okay, see you. Click up. I'm already by at my home. There's no road to make. There's nothing to clean. Uh, it's already done.
And the
But
list
something
spawners
is
help.
missing. Hmm?
The list spawners help. The new list spawners
Yeah,
really help with TTS. But yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because getting ready for a tournament, like when you're assembling the ships and the fleets, that's like an hour and a half, easy. Even if you know the list, you got to make
mm,
sure you have everything. But yeah, no, and well, hopefully after the pandemic, everything will be back to normal maybe next year.
we hope
So
so.
if
Yeah.
people wanted to come to French tournaments, do they need a level of French if they were coming to a tournament in France, or would you squeak by on English?
Most of our players speak acceptable English. French is always better if you want to communicate with people who don't speak
Hmm.
English, but uh, we will um, how do you say? We will welcome anybody. I mean, uh, on the last tournament, the last French tournament,
Hmm.
we had players from Italy. That's the friends you already met. We had some UK players, and we had some Polish players, some Austrian player. I mean, I don't even speak Polish.
Yeah.
I think I know only one word, and it's a curse word. So I'm not trying to have a conversation in Polish. But we try to speak English, and knowing that this isn't their language, it's understandable.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know. I mean,
and
the thing is, as long as everyone can communicate,
yeah,
that's fine. I don't think anybody's expecting the greatest vocabulary out of everybody. But I know people do work hard to kind of.
yeah. In the big events such as the national tournament, there
Mhm.
is always some judges who speak a perfect English to help to understand some precise some pointy rules points and to clarify a situation. So the language is not really a problem. And we have another thing going on is that for some months we do not have any news of any translation of that game in
Yeah.
French or in many other language. So we are forced to learn to play in English because everything now is in English.
The French community have a petition going on to get it
Yeah,
translated to French. And as well, I think Spanish is also impacted. So you're
yep,
probably going to send me that petition afterwards, and it'll be in the description of this video. So if you
yep,
want to
sure.
support your fellow French players, definitely sign up. Let AMG know that, look, translating does help, because there's always one guy whose English is not great in any non-English speaking country who just ignores the game, and
Yeah,
he'd be great to have in your community, but
and
is just intimidated by learning the rule set and in a different language. It's just that extra barrier, which you don't need. There's already enough
yeah.
barriers on getting people into Armada.
And there is another huge barrier that depends of that is that in the if the game isn't
Hmm.
translated in French, you won't find it in a French shop because the main distributor, Asmodee, if we can say the name, uh, doesn't want his shop to sell not translated products, even if those products are edited by Asmodee or some company by Asmodee. It's and it's the same problem in the other language. So
Yeah.
we are forced to use import to get to Asmodee UK to have our piece. And that was particularly hard for the last release of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
On one shop in France, made some pre-orders, get some starter pack, and I mean, there are starter packs. That's the beginning of the game,
Yep.
and you cannot find them in the shop. So if the guys from Asmodee say, "Yeah, but Armada doesn't work that much in France," yeah, translate it, distribute
Translate
it.
it.
Sorry, I'm getting on a rant
You're
because I'm
okay. You're
really
okay.
upset
Rant
about that
away.
situation. I'll give you the link to the petition that was initiated by one of the player, means Zaz. We have already about 800 names on that petition. We sent them at Asmodee some months ago. We sent them at AMG when we heard about it. How do you say
Taking
it?
over.
Taking over, yeah, on that game. For now, nothing is moving, but I think things are really complicated from this side too, so they
Yeah.
wait. Yeah,
I think the AMG thing is going to take a while before anyone knows what's happening. Um, because it's yeah, they're a small enough group as well, so it'll take some time. But yeah, no, if you have time and you haven't already done so, I know loads of people already have, sign the petition down below. So
thank you.
with the pandemic and everything, what advice would you have for people trying to either maintain their community or even maybe grow their community at the moment?
Communicate. I think it's the main point. We are uh, s- the game is aimed to a small number of players. We are not a big group. People are often isolated. As I said earlier, in Saint Etienne we were four. Now we are two, and one is 20 kilometers from me. So it's
Yeah,
too far to play with the lockdowns and the um, current restrictions. You need to communicate to make videos, to have a forum, to have a Discord that is alive,
yep,
to communicate with other countries. Just now, our Italian friends came to us to participate in the Attack on Hot tournament that will place in February and maybe March. I think the first phase of the tournament will be ended in this week because people are so eager to play.
there's
They
some
want to
people
play
who
now.
there's some people who haven't played any games. I
Yeah.
finished all of mine, but I'm crazy, as we have many times established. But I think it might take a bit longer. There are 60 players, but yeah, it does seem like tournaments get played faster this year than any before. The Vassal World Cup got through its first rounds with 75 players quite quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like fair play to both those sets of tournament organizers because they are massive to try and coordinate all that. But yeah,
People want to play,
yeah,
and yeah,
it's a
the
good
stuff.
game, and
It's a good
1.5
game.
has made it better. You know, um, go ahead.
I didn't understand that story.
1.5 has made it better with the changes to Intel and
Um,
Evade and all that.
I don't know if better, because I hadn't played that much in 1.5. Even on TTS, I haven't had the time to play that much. But changes are interesting, and there is some new mechanics coming with the Clone Wars that are going to be very tricky. I don't know if I don't know who was involved in the writing of Clone Wars, if that was the old teams from FFG or the new teams for AMG or both, or some people that made the transfer. I
Hmm.
don't know. But what is grand is they always manage to surprise people with that new mechanism, that new slot, that new ID that gets something new in the game
Yep,
at each release. So we may have one release for 1 year that is very slow for a miniatures game, but that release changes a lot. Even if you don't play with the new ship, it changed the way you play the older ship, the
yep,
older waves. That is really something important. Finally, I think if you have one release each 2 or 3 months, we wouldn't have the time to analyze that correctly,
no,
and the game will go in a wall.
yeah. Well, like the thing is, I don't think the Rebellion and the Rim objectives have all been fully explored. I think there's still gold in those cards that we just haven't really realized or somebody hasn't tried yet. Which is fantastic. Like
Yeah.
we don't
So,
get many releases, but they just even a small thing just adds really great flavor to the game. Anyway,
so
is it? Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Was just saying something you just read at an old card, and you said that old card and that old card, and wow! it,
Yeah,
it, those cards are out since 3 years, and just now, because of something in the FAQ, you see, wow, it works now. It can be good. Let's try it.
yep,
That is really good. That is really a good game management, and is very stable, and is something very appreciated to have a game that doesn't change its whole ecosystem within 3 months.
yep.
Yeah.
Uh, Looking at you, Games Workshop. Looking at you.
Okay,
Um,
looking at you, yep, on the other side. Yep.
but listen, Eric, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we head off for the evening?
um, Even if you have a blank on a red die, reroll it. That will be the advice of the year.
Awesome. Listen,
Yeah,
thank you very much for joining me. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope the apocalypse is treating everyone okay. And sure, we'll talk to you again soon. Good
yeah.
night.
Thank you too. Good night.